Hello everyone. I wanted to continue on my legend series, and today I wanted to give Sir Geoffrey Boycott, definitely one of the greatest technicians, perfectionist batsmen in the history of cricket. I mean, along with Sunil Gavaskar, Geoffrey Boycott had the best technique in the world. In the 90s, it's notable Rahul Dravid and Jack Callis, I would say. But I mean, before that, 80s, 70s, 60s, I mean, Geoffrey Boycott and Sunil Gavaskar in the 70s, they were regarded as the best technicians of the game, and both were openers as well. And Sir Geoffrey Boycott, a lot of people would love him. I mean, he was a totally different, unique person, and especially his commentary as well. I'll come to it. Sir Geoffrey Boycott was born October 21st, 1940, and he is from Yorkshire. A lot of people will know that he had that Yorkshire accent when he spoke, and he played for Yorkshire and England. He played from 1962 to 1986. That was his test span, and he was obviously opening batsman and the most successful English opening batsman that time. I mean, later Alistair Cook obviously scored more runs than him. But Sir Geoffrey Boycott was an amazing test batsman. I mean, a lot of people, critics sometimes would say he was slow, but it doesn't matter in test cricket. I mean, he couldn't be replaced. And he has played 108 test matches, and he has scored 8,114 runs at an average of 47.72. And he scored 22 hundreds, and his highest score was 246 not out. In first class cricket, he has also scored more than 48,000 runs at an average of more than 56. And he has scored 151 centuries as well. I mean, in the all-time list, that is, I think, fourth or fifth in the on the rankings. 151 first-class hundreds. No one has done more than that, other than the 4 or 5 players. And Geoffrey Boycott, there's something that is very special about him. I don't think a lot of people or anyone can actually have that record or claim that record. I did mention this when Gundappa Vishwanath, I put the video for Gundappa Vishwanath of India, that when he scored 100, India never lost a match, but that was around 1400s. But Sir Geoffrey Boycott, he has scored 2200s. I already mentioned in my video. Every time he scored a century, England have never lost a test match. I mean, that is an amazing record. So it shows the direct impact he had on a test match result. And out of his 108 matches, England have only lost 20 times, which is also an amazing record. So no matter what the critic says, I mean, if your country only loses 20 times out of 108 times that you have played, it is a mark. It is a great mark. I don't know how many England won in that era, but probably a lot of draws. But the important thing is that they've only lost 20 matches. So Geoffrey Boycott, as a test batsman, I mean, the way he used to be difficult to get out, I mean, it shows in that statistics. He was definitely one of the most, if not the most, difficult batsmen to dislodge in that era, 70s, 80s, 60s as well. Sunil Gavaskar also would be there. But Geoffrey Boycott is someone who definitely, I don't think there has ever been any cricketer who has valued his wicket more than Geoffrey Boycott. He was really serious. He really gave a lot of value to his wicket. I've even heard once that he he coached like himself, like he was practicing batting during a lunch session of a test. I've never heard that before, anyone do that. And another notable thing, I mean, his test average against India was like 57 plus. So that shows he did play spin excellent, and he definitely had an excellent technique against the spinners. I mean, not a lot of batsmen in the world can claim that the highest test average would be against India. I mean, especially 57 plus in those times when the Indian spinners were deadly. And another notable thing that I have to mention is that being an Englishman, Geoffrey Boycott had to play the three best bowling attacks of that time: West Indies, Australia, and India. West Indies obviously having all the fast bowlers; it was known for their fury fast bowling. And Australia also, I mean, had an amazing pace attack all the time. I mean, obviously, Jeff Thompson and Dennis Lillee were playing Geoffrey Boycott's time, so he had to face that attack, the West Indian attack, and also the Indian spinners as well in their prime. So, I mean, if you are an West Indian batsman or an Australian batsman or an Indian batsman, you will definitely avoid one of the three big teams with the best bowling attack. But him being an Englishman, Geoffrey Boycott had to play all these three bowling attacks, which is a very notable thing. Uh, that is a very special thing to consider. And I'm always personally grateful to Geoffrey Boycott. My father had this book, Jeff Boycott on batting, and that is a book that I read when I was young many times, and that helped me a lot in my batting. Obviously, no one has ever coached me in batting or anything, but this book, Geoffrey Boycott, Jeff Boycott on batting. Jeff Boycott on batting. And so I'm very thankful to Geoffrey Boycott for that. And I will never forget one thing that he has said in this book after everything he has described about batting. He says, no matter what level you end up playing cricket, there is a deep sense of satisfaction to know that you play the game in the correct and proper way. And that was really inspiring because in cricket, especially in India, I mean not everywhere, especially in India, there is a lot of bad politics that I have faced when I was a youngster, and there's a lot of reasons why you never go up the ranks in cricket. So I've also told the children in South Africa that I've coached that you should never consider what level of cricket you're playing, whatever level you're playing, whether it's school cricket or club cricket or university level or provincial level or more than that. You should have that pride of how you play the game. You should know that you play the game the correct, proper way, because even at international level, there are a lot of batsmen who don't play cricket at the in the proper way that it should be played. So Geoffrey Boycott's words were very important. There's a deep sense of satisfaction to know that you play the game properly in the correct way that it should be played, no matter despite what level you have played. So that is now the important thing, like you said. So thank you to him for that, and I've passed on that to a lot of children as well. And obviously, as a commentator, Geoffrey Boycott was the most entertaining commentator that I've heard. I mean, people of the older generation and even people of my age in the early 90s definitely remember Sir Geoffrey Boycott's commentary. He used to even say sometimes that his mom could have hit that ball for a six with a toothbrush. And I've even heard him saying when someone dropped a catch, my mom could have caught that with her apron. So that's how Geoffrey Boycott was very funny. And a lot of people say he was a hard critic, but I definitely enjoyed Geoffrey Boycott's commentary because he said exactly how it was. He didn't sugarcoat any player. If he saw something wrong, he used to criticize it. And if there was a credit due, he was the first one to give the credit. He was a big fan of Barry Richards and the South African team of the 70s, Sunil Gavaskar, Vivian Richards, a lot of players that he used to admire a lot. And he used to have a special liking for Sourav Ganguly as well. He used to say the Prince of Calcutta, not exactly the way he said it. I mean, he used to have a special liking for Sourav Ganguly. When he was a youngster, Geoffrey Boycott was in a serious accident and he almost died. He could have died, and they say that they had to remove his spleen in order to save him. So coming through tough times in life as a youngster, probably that's what made him very tough as a batsman. So that is my video on. And by the way, in 1967, when England toured West Indies, Geoffrey Boycott scored 463 runs at an average of 66.12. And that helped England to win the series 1-0. I mean, remember, it wasn't easy to win a test series in West Indies those times. So Geoffrey Boycott's one of his highlight innings in his career as well. So that is my video on Sir Geoffrey Boycott, the technician come perfectionist, who scored 2200s. And by the way, Sir Geoffrey Boycott held the world record for the most test runs for 2 years. He broke Sir Garfield Sobers' record of 8,000 plus runs. And he held the world record for 2 years, around 2 years, until Sunil Gavaskar broke that world record. So that is also another thing about Sir Geoffrey Boycott. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you have really enjoyed this video. Sir Geoffrey Boycott is an absolutely special player, especially if the older generation people will savor him. Thank you so much for joining in. Take care and God bless you.